want to talk about buying timber for your major project. So just one thing to understand first, when you buy timber in Australia, we need to buy it based on the stock side. So that refers to the width and the thickness of the timber. So these are just some standard timber sizes here. So we've got 42 by 42, 42 by 19, 70 by 19, 68 by 19 and 140 by 19. So each one of these sections, you can buy them in lengths in multiples of 300 millimetres. So you need to have a fair understanding, and the sizes do go bigger. So if you were to create a lid of a table, much like the benches in the workshop, you might actually buy 68 by 68 or even 90 by 90, and then buying that in linear metres. So that's something that we need to have in mind when we start deciding what size timber we're going to use for our major project. The next thing we have to consider is what the project's used for. So if our project's going to be outside, we need to make sure that it's going to be durable for weather, and we're also going to have to consider what types of adhesives we're going to use to hold our project together to make sure that it's going to be durable. In terms of buying timber, these are some samples across the front here. All very good timbers, but different to work with. So you look at something like rock maple, which is a really beautiful timber, this one here. And it's very heavy to pick up, and it's also very difficult to work with. So it's a really solid, dense timber. Quite a few students actually pair that up with the American walnut, which goes really well together. But again, two very difficult timbers to work with. Mahogany is a very popular one, particularly for period style furniture. It machines really well, and it's very good to finish. It comes up a really rich red colour. And New Guinea rosewood would be another one that would be in that same category. These two timbers here, the mahogany and the New Guinea rosewood, I think are the most successful for students' major projects if it suits what your statement of intent is. Both extremely easy to work with. That's those two. Tasmanian blackwood and jarrah and spotted gum. These three here are very, very heavy to pick them up. They're a very dense timber. They're quite hard to machine joints in. Most students would select to make their major projects out of Tasmanian blackwood, jarrah or spotted gum for the aesthetics, just purely for how it looks rather than how it performs. Jarrah is also a very common one if you're going to make outdoor furniture. It's very good for outdoor setting, but it is very expensive, very hard to work with. So it's not something that we would recommend. And finally, we've got Waikato oak and Tasmanian oak. So very good cabinet timbers, like for building furniture for inside. So it's similar to mahogany or the New Guinea rosewood, but it is harder to work with. And also, I find the figure and the grain of New Guinea rosewood mahogany is much prettier than the straight lines of Tasmanian oak or white oak. But some students pick it because in their statement of intent they want a very modern looking piece of furniture with very little definition or features through the grain. So they're just the things that I consider. The next thing you need to do is work out what size you want each component to be based on your end sections, and then we need to look at what the average sizes are. So if you're building a desk, for example, you do some research, and from that research you find out the average height of a desk is 700 millimetres. If you're building a chair, the average seat height is 450 millimetres, and from that you'll know how many linear metres of your material that you need to purchase.
Next we'll have a look at the PDF that I shared with you, how to design furniture, and this is great and really does take you time to go through and have a look through this PDF, but I'm just going to draw your attention to page 60. So just type in 60 and hit enter, and we just have a little look here, and this section's all to do with dimensions. So it's really important that when we design furniture, the overall proportion of it should seem very peaceful and in harmony, whereas if it's a little bit disjointed, you notice it but you can't quite put your finger on it. So just having a little look through this, and you can have a read through it and see what information applies to you. There's some dimension guides on tables, chairs, beds, bookcases, chests, and then it goes into talk about classic proportions, the sizing for drawers and doors, a little bit of history, and then just different ways of actually making your doors, which you do need to consider how you're going to create and put your doors together. Unfortunately, this PDF is American, so everything's in inches. So you can get a converter app on your mobile phone. You can convert your overall measurements and work your way in from that in terms of proportion. But this book here is a great resource, and as we continue on, it takes us through sketching and modelling, different ways of working it all out, and then it takes you through drawing as well. So this is a very good resource that you need to spend a bit of time looking through.
Next we need to go to Google Classroom. If we just download this timber cutting list here, and I'll just open it up because I've already got it open. What we need to look at is how to read the price list. So I've just scanned along to page 9, which is the Australian hardwood species, select grade. And here's a variety of timber that they supply, and there's a nice image of it scrolling down. Now you'll notice there's 2 different grades of timber. So this one here says select sawn grade. So it's thicker, but it's very rough to touch. It hasn't been finished. So we're going to buy dressed select grade. So don't look at the sawn one. So looking at the dressed timber, these are the different sizes. So before I was speaking about sectional views or the end section of timber, this is listed down this side of the page. So if you were going to make some fairly thick legs, looking at this, I'm not seeing too many big square sections. I've got some 70 by 70 laminated, and I've got some 90 by 90 laminated, but it could be quite expensive if you're going to buy a piece of that. So just coming across along this line here. So if we're going to buy 1 to 50 metres of it, which would be you guys, that's going to be $45.70 a lineal metre. So that's quite expensive.